Alright, welcome back to a deck profile video where I talk about my Prism deck. So to start with, I picked Coral because Coral is a nice card to have. Whenever you bounce a card, you can bounce her back to your hand. So extra 10k in your hand helps a lot in the long run. Next up, critical triggers. So you want to run Sunshine Clear because just the effect overall, she can give you an extra she can give you an extra booster, she can give you an extra attack, and maybe an extra G3 in your hand if you like. So it's a very versatile card to have. All it really costs is a counterblast plus a return back to the deck, and plus returning it back to the deck is pretty nice. Just just giving her another chance to crit somebody. Next up, draw triggers. I run Nylum because Nylum's effect is pretty good. You can potentially use it in your Princess Labrador turn. You could use it in your Sunshine for turn if you like. You can make a lot of plays with it. And also, it's a Soul Blast, so it doesn't cost any counter blasts. And pretty much, it's a nice card to have around if you need it, if you need this effect. So Timor, I don't think I need to explain more than that. Other than the Prism name, I want Prism name because most of the cards most of the counterblast requires Prism name anyways. Next up, whoa, stand triggers. I run these Crook because she's a very nice stand trigger. It's a on boost. Well, after during the end of the battle, you can return a card to you can return this card to your hand to your deck. Return a card on the field to your hand, and then you can call him again, if you like. It's a bounce and call, so it gives you one extra attack. Alternatively, you could run a Canary if you like for the extra crit. Anything is fine. You decide. So next up, Arya, Princess Duel Arya. My grade 1 Sentinels. Those cards are pretty nice. Perfect cards are nice to have. I only run this one because it's Prism name. You can also run Kakuri if you like. You have a choice there. Kakuri gives you a counter charge and on guard, and Prism just has Prism name. Arya just has the Prism name, so your choice. Day because she's the only way you will ever get to counter charge and soul charge if you don't run Kakuri. I run 4 of them because I have no other way to counter charge except using Day, Princess Day. So it also gives you an additional 4k. Use it well. Next up, Shizuku. The only reason why I'm running this is because of the check top 5. I find this deck bounces cards a lot, like every other BT deck in the entire universe, and I like bouncing cards. You can bounce a card, call Shizuku again, get another check top 5, and I run 9 grade 3s in response to that in order to thin out my deck a little bit more. So that's it. Alright, G2s. My first set is Celtic, Princess Celtic, because it's nice to have that extra push on your G2 ride. You ride into Celtic, call one of your rear guards, and then you'll have Coral as your booster behind Princess Celtic, and then you can attack with rear guard, attack with Celtic, CB1, and then you can bounce that. And then if that attack actually hits, you CB1, return your rear guard, return Coral, draw a card, and you get 3 cards in your hand in total. Nice card. Next up, 3 Lumieres, just to help that little push that you can do with Princess Celtic. If they sacrifice a card in response, it's also good because it's an even card trade. a zero-sum game. Assuming that they don't blow up your coral, of course. Next up, Spica. Spica is mainly there because you want multi-attacks. This deck is about multi-attacks. On your Sunshine Vert turn, it's best if you have one Spica in order to put in another 2 or 3 sets of attacks. Nice card to have. You want this card in your deck. Alternatively, you could run Amelia. I don't know why you want to run Amelia for the extra hand size, except for the extra hand size. Fine by me, I guess. Next up, Ayari. Ayari is a nice card. CB1, bounce the card back to your hand. It gains 5k. 5k is pretty nice to have, just to get your opponent to sacrifice another card just to guard her. It's pretty nice. And also you can combo it up during your stride. I just bounce, instead of having Spica, you can have her bounce cards with her instead. So next up, Vert. You always want to run 4 Verts because that's your usual first ride. You want this to be your first ride because of that LB4 effect. Next up, Labrador. And also 2 Garnets. You can choose from here on what you want to do with your G3s. You can run 8 G3s. You could take out the Shizukus. You could run 9 G3s if like I do, just so Shizuku can fetch more. You have a choice there. It's pretty flexible at this point. I recommend having more Garnets than Labradors, or I just have the Labradors there because it's just nice to have a 31k attacker. Garnet has a triple drive if you're managed to be at LB5, but I find myself to be LB5 rarely, if not too often. So you have a choice there. Alright, G Guardians. First up, first stride, you want Princess Labrador, because Princess Labrador is basically basically guarantees 2 to 3 free attacks while bouncing every other card on the field back to your hand. So yeah, just toss out 2 to 3 attacks just to stall a little bit, drive check another 3 cards, and you'll end up having 11 cards in no time. Next up, Sunshine Vert. Princess Labrador kind of serves as a buffer in order to stride into Sunshine Vert, and mostly just because of her cost, really. Just the fact that you have to discard 3 cards. You want to get prepared for it. You want to be prepared for that, so it's nice to have at least 6 to 7 cards in your hand before you even try to stride into Sunshine Vert, or you're just desperate to the point where you're gonna die anyways. Next up, 4 Olivias. Or alternatively, you could run 2 Olivias and 2 Loris. At this point, these cards are just tech cards. Olivia doesn't do as big of a splash, no pun intended there, as Sunshine Vert. You still want to run Sunshine Vert as a final turn. Loris is just there just to push for a little bit more damage. Next up, Anti-Link Joker, and Final Priscilla, GB8. Anti-Link Joker, just so you could unlock your cards. GBA, because you want to game them during GB8. There's really not much to it. For G Guardians, I run Citron and Leona. Mostly because of their effects. They're probably one of the best G Guardians that BTs has to offer. It's just that BT really focuses on bounce effects, and also run a Sandy, because your hand size is going to be at like 10 or 12 by the time you hit your first stride. So it's nice to just have more cards, or just have more shield. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.